Hello and welcome to Climate Live Canada. I'm your host, Raina Duras. Music has the power to bring us together, to unite us all, and that is exactly what we need to fight the climate crisis. Climate Live Canada is one of over 40 groups around the world pushing for a mass mobilization to come together to tackle the climate emergency. We've heard from scientists, economists, astronauts, politicians, and environmental campaigners. Many people around the world have engaged their minds and come to terms with the reality that we're facing a climate crisis, and music is the key to engaging people's hearts. Tonight's virtual concert includes some of the most well-known Canadian musicians and some exciting emerging artists, plus speeches from activists on the front lines of the climate crisis. Climate Live has three core aims: engage, educate, and empower. This virtual concert is part of a global movement, setting the stage for in-person concerts all over the world in October so we can start putting our full global attention towards solving the climate crisis. Before we start, we would like to acknowledge that so-called Canada is on the unceded territory of countless First Nations, Métis, and Inuit communities. Please take a moment, visit native-land.ca and learn whose land you are on. And visit the Action Toolkit for ways to support Indigenous communities on the front lines of the climate crisis. This broadcast is coming from Toronto, Takaranto Treaty 13, which is the traditional territory of the Mississaugas of the Anishinaabe, the Haudenosaunee Confederacy, and the Wendat. This land is covered by the Dish with One Spoon Wampum Belt Covenant, which was an agreement between the Haudenosaunee and Anishinaabe to share and care for the resources around the Great Lakes. Please take a moment to acknowledge the traditional territory you are viewing from. Thank you. First up tonight, we have Veronica Johnny, followed by Braden Lam. Veronica is a two-spirit Cree Métis artist and musician from the Northwest Territories who's emerged as a dynamic force in the Canadian arts and music industry. Veronica is an Indigenous educator and advisor to both Climate Live Canada and Music Declares Emergency Canada. Braden Lam is a folk singer-songwriter based on the East Coast who blends authentic songwriting with modern indie flair. Braden's dedication and passion doesn't end with his music either, but also persists within the climate movement, and we've been lucky enough to have him as one of our Climate Live Canada coordinators. Right now, here is Veronica Johnny.
Tansei, Veronica Johnny and Si Kasson. Hi, I'm Veronica Johnny, and I'm here to share a drum song with you for Climate Live. Very honored to be a part of Climate Live and to be a part of the way forward for Mother Earth and for all of us here, all the life here on Mother Earth. sang the song remain unharmed from all of the violence around them. We sing this song in honor of the women, in honor of the feminine, in honor of Mother Earth. If you have a drum, please join. Please help Climate Live. Please do what you can to help the Earth. Please join us. Hi, Kinanis Kamtinsawa. So hey, this song is called Frog in a Pot. You can find it on our album called Leathers and Feathers by the Johnnies. Dave, you want to tell them about the song?
Sure. I suppose this is a bit of a global warming song. It's encouraging us all to perhaps live a little bit more gently on Mother Earth and show her the respect that she so richly deserves. We have a wonderful place to live. Let's step up and take care of it, everybody.
Mm-hmm.
Cool. 1, 2, 3, 4.
Stay cool out there, everybody.
Hello, everybody. My name is Braden Lam. I'm a musician and songwriter coming to you from Chibuktuk in Mi'kma'ki, so-called Halifax, Nova Scotia, and I'm super honored to be part of this event today. I get to play you a really special song. It's called Forest Fires off of my latest album, and it's about a couple summers ago in 2019. I was up in the Yukon during a record-breaking season of forest fires. So we were doing the Fridays for Future rallies outside, literally screaming our lungs off into clouds of dense smoke from these forest fires. And it was, it was so dense you couldn't even see the mountains around us. And it was in these moments that it kind of dawned on me. We were trying to protect and celebrate an Earth that was being destroyed by climate change, literally in front of our eyes in that same moment. And I want to capture that in a song and look at the world that we've been handed and ask the question of what do we do next? Is there hope? What are the next steps? And I think the answer to that question that I put in this song is you watching this, you who has ever participated in any sort of climate action is the answer to that question. I find a lot of hope and comfort in seeing younger generations stand up and take responsibility for the future of the Earth. And so thank you for inspiring this song. This song is for you, and I hope you really enjoy it. Cheers.
Forest fires burn all over this town. I haven't seen blue skies in 7 weeks now. It's an addiction of vehicles and plastic cups. As the oceans rise, our lungs fill up. Everyone's gathering to watch the spectacle, sharing in our drink as the walls crumble. We're the generation, why are we left with this mess? And they watch our cities burn until there's nothing to do. Oh, until there's nothing to do with the rest, and nothing to do with the rest. Forest fires burn all over this town. I haven't seen blue skies in 7 weeks now. We need another fix. When do we learn to stop? Searched every inch to drill every drive. Everyone's gathering to watch the spectacle, sharing in a drink as the walls crumble. Streets, keeping their spirits high. They're not crying wolf, they're crying for their lives. That the skies will clear another day. We pray, we pray. Everyone's gathering to watch the spectacle, sharing in a drink as the walls crumble. We're the generation, why are we left with this mess? And they watch our cities burn until there's nothing to do with the rest. Oh, nothing to do with the rest. Nothing to do with the rest. Nothing to do with the rest. Nothing to do with the rest.
Thank you so much to Braden and Veronica. Next up, speaker Catherine Abreu. Catherine Abreu is an internationally recognized award-winning campaigner whose work centers on building powerful coalitions to advance action on climate change. She was named one of the world's 100 most influential people in climate by Apolitical in 2019, and she is currently the executive director of Climate Action Network, CANRAC Canada, Canada's primary network of organizations working on climate change and energy issues. Catherine is the 2020 recipient of the prestigious Jack Layton Progress Prize for her international leadership on climate policy and action and her transformative work at CANRAC. Catherine will be followed by Juno nominee Julian Taylor. Julian Taylor recently took home a Canadian Folk Music Award as Solo Artist of the Year for his record, The Ridge. Released in June 2020, The Ridge has been hailed as Julian's breakout album. Known also for his work in Staggered Crossing and his own band, the folkier sound of this solo record is winning him tons of new fans. Artists like Jim Cuddy, William Prince, and Justin Rutledge have sung Julian's praises, just to name a few. Julian is on the way, but right now, here is Catherine Abreu.
Hi, everyone. I'm Catherine Abreu, Executive Director of Climate Action Network Canada, and I'm reaching you today from unceded, unsurrendered Algonquin Anishinaabe territories in what is also known as Ottawa. Climate Action Network brings together 130 member organizations from every corner of Canadian civil society, and together we work to address the ways in which climate change affects people, places, and wildlife here in Canada and abroad. Canada has never met a climate target it has set. We have been setting climate goals in this country since the early 1990s, and we have missed every single promise that we have made to the international community and to ourselves. It is high time that we end this trend of setting and missing empty greenhouse gas emissions reductions goals in this country. How do we do that? Well, first of all, we need to improve and pass Bill C-12, which is currently winding its way through the legislative process in Canada. This bill, which is also known as the Net Zero Accountability Act, if we are able to get amendments that strengthen it, has the potential to really institutionalize, bring transparency and consistency to the process that Canadian federal governments use to set climate targets and plan to meet them. It could also, again, if improved, require that governments meet those targets and explain to the Canadian public why they have missed those targets if and when they do. And finally, it would lock into law our long-term goals of reaching net zero emissions by 2050 and our 2030 Paris Pledge. That's our promise to reduce emissions by 2030 under the Paris Agreement. That's important because our current Paris Pledge to reduce emissions 30% below 2005 levels by 2030 is insufficient. Canada has to at least double that goal to get close to our fair share of the global effort of holding warming to 1.5 degrees Celsius. And we can't double our goal, get closer to our fair share, if we are not setting ourselves up with the right tools and legislative institutional mechanisms that we need to keep ourselves on track and make sure we never miss another climate target. The other thing we need to be thinking about in this country is how to put people at the center of climate action. The reality is that climate change is the result of structural and systemic inequalities. And those inequalities, those injustices built into our social and economic systems are also the issues that underlie a whole host of concurrent crises to climate change. These structural problems are what underlie racism and white supremacy, colonial forms of extractivism in resources and culture, and inequalities in wealth and distribution of resources, just to name a few. And so it's really only by working at that structural and systems level that we can get the change that we need to build a climate-safe future and avoid the most disastrous impacts of climate change, while also building a better world for everyone. And that's why we have been so invested in the Just Recovery process during the COVID-19 pandemic. The Just Recovery movement has brought together over 600 organizations from really every little corner of progressive civil society in Canada, calling on governments to use this opportunity given to us by this pause in the status quo to take a look at the ways in which we need to adjust our economic and social structures so that they lend themselves to climate justice, and so that we can make investments now and policy choices now that will change our future to better reflect the care and mutual aid and compassion that is really transforming all of our experiences of the tragic pandemic health crisis. The reality is that the climate crisis hasn't gone away. As we continue to encounter the difficulties of responding to the COVID-19 pandemic, we have to remember that the solutions we bring to solving this pandemic should also be setting us up to address the long-term crisis of climate change and other forms of ecological collapse like the biodiversity crisis. And so we really believe in working at that structural level, in bringing that just recovery momentum to the table, and leading a charge for all of us to imagine a future that leaves no one behind and works for people as well as the planet. I'm really so thrilled to have been able to be with you today. And I am watching today's proceedings from afar with excitement. Thank you so much for putting this event on. And please join us in our efforts to make sure Canada never misses another climate target, to institutionalize climate law so that all future governments in this country are held accountable for our climate commitments, and to put people at the center of climate policy by demanding a just recovery from the COVID-19 crisis. Have a great day, everyone. Good to be with you.
I'm Julian Taylor, and Mother Earth instructed me to be here, sitting in this chair, performing for you, because I'm here to promote how important Mother Earth really is. She's the only mother that we have, and we're not treating her properly. And without her, we don't have everything that we have. Climate change is a very big part of that, and I'm here to promote education and knowledge and action. I'm going to do a couple songs for you.
Stretching out into the morning sun, stretching out just to come undone. The skies are hazy, baby blue. The sun sits still, yet it still moves. We only stay as long as we can. We only stay as long as we can, then come back again. Thunder, lightning, and the sound of the past. It's time to celebrate at last. Sundays always seem to last forever, mending and happy changing the weather. We only stay as long as we can, but like the mountains return to sand, we come back again. We come back again. Sundown is setting sooner than before. I was outside covering sticks out by the front door, surrounded by the forest and the trees, the simple facts of life at ease. We only stay as long as we can, but like the mountains return to sand, we come back again. We come back again. We come back again. Snowflakes are gently falling on the ground. Some set aside and making sounds. Give your family lots and lots of love, that's what you do. You give them more than you need to. We only stay as long as we can, but like the mountains return to sand, we come back again. We come back again. We come back again. We come back again.
It's a song called Back Again. It's off.
were looking out for me all the time. I appreciate everything that you've ever done for me. People always say I'm the tough one, but how could that be? Watching you go through so much pain isn't easy. That's why awake always leaves a trace. The human race, to get out of this place. The human race, we all feel out of place. In the human race, I can't begin to imagine all the things that you've been through. I know it isn't only strangers that hurt you. You've been so misunderstood. I've seen things cripple you. I only know this because they've crippled me too. Watching you go through so much pain isn't easy. And that's why awake always leaves a trace. The human race, to get out of this place. The human race, we all feel out of place. The human race, never I felt like I knew. So please don't overdo it. I should never be so vain to say the room I'm like. Never I felt like I blew it. So please won't you help me through? I should never be so vain to think of ruined your life. The human race, to get out of this place. The human race, we all feel out of place. In the human race, human race, in the human race, in the human race, in the human race.
Thank you so much to Julian and Catherine. Next up, we have Vilberavavi. Vilbert is originally from Cameroon and holds a PhD in Forest Resources Management from the University of British Columbia. His research focused on understanding the effectiveness of community management of natural resources and the appropriate recognition of local values. Vilbert works with Nature Canada and previously worked with the Northern Shuswap Tribal Council and the International Union for the Conservation of Nature. After Vilbert, we'll have a performance from Luna Lee, playing the guitar, keyboards, violin, and harp, as well as providing all of the vocals. Luna combines her classical music background with her love of indie rock to create a completely unique sound. When Luna Lee first emerged onto the Toronto indie scene, she quickly realized the gender and racial disparity in the indie music scene there, and she committed through her music to making changes to create an inclusive and safe music scene for all people. Luna will be followed by Communism, a rock band from Toronto fronted by Don Kerr, who used their voice to promote a message of community and authenticity. That is all on the way. But first, here is Vilberavavi.
Hello, everyone. My name is Vilberavavi, and I'm speaking to you today from unceded Algonquin territory, also known as Ottawa. I work for Nature Canada, which is a national charity organization that advocates for the conservation of land and waters to help stop biodiversity loss and fight climate change. We work to engage over 900 nature organizations and 100,000 nature lovers across the country while helping Canadians connect to nature. We salute this initiative from Climate Life for helping to mobilize activists, artists, and scientists across the world in the fight against climate change and biodiversity loss. And we're especially thrilled to be part of this initiative to empower young people to pressurize decision makers to take action to combat the climate crisis. The solutions are right before our eyes. We need our governments to take bold action. We want to encourage you to mobilize and pressurize decision makers, not only to accelerate the needed transition towards renewable energies, but also to harness the power of nature to fight climate change, because the world is facing two critical interrelated environmental challenges: mass species extinction and climate change. There is an urgent need for action. Governments in Canada and around the world have started to embrace nature-based solutions as important ways to limiting carbon emissions. It's a brand new part of Canada's climate policy that was announced in December 2020. Nature-based solutions are an important part of how we will get to net zero by 2050. For the first time in the history of Canada, the Canadian government has agreed to invest billions of dollars in initiatives to reduce and avoid emissions through better land management and restoration of forests, grasslands, agricultural lands, and other areas, including the commitment to plant 2 billion trees. This is huge. They have also committed to protecting 30% of Canada's lands and oceans by 2030, and protection means protection from damaging industrial development. Protecting nature in Canada is of global climate significance. For example, the boreal forest is the most carbon-dense terrestrial ecosystem in the world. It stores twice as much carbon as the world's oil reserve. The government has also committed to supporting Indigenous-led conservation, and this is essential because nature-based climate planning is something Indigenous communities have known and practiced for thousands of years. Better stewardship and protection of lands and ocean systems are essential to keeping our climate, wildlife, and people healthy. The opportunity then is huge for nature lovers to simultaneously fight biodiversity loss and climate change while respecting and advancing Indigenous knowledge and rights. But together we need to hold decision makers accountable to their commitments and also stand up against the powerful interests that see nature as a resource to be extracted rather than life support systems for our climate, wildlife, and communities. Together, we can build an unstoppable movement for an equitable, carbon neutral, and nature positive future. Thank you all for your energy, enthusiasm, and dedication to our future. To find out how to contribute to nature-based solutions to climate change in your local community, go to naturecanada.ca and look under the Defend Nature campaign section. Thank you, and I look forward to seeing you all live in the fall.
Hi, I'm Luna Lee. Thanks so much for having me today. I've been really passionate about climate justice ever since I was a little kid, so I really appreciate having the platform and the opportunity to be a part of this and speak about this today. I think there's a lot we can be doing as individuals to fight climate change, but I believe that where the real change happens is when we all come together and unite to elect leaders who have bold climate action strategies and plans, and to hold our leaders accountable to follow through with their plans. We only have this one planet. We have to protect it and make sure that it's safe for the future generations to come. So yeah, thank you again for having me. I'm going to play my song Cherry Pit.
Spit your cherry pit down in the forest. I will find it and carry it in my pocket. Grow a little more so you know
She's a queen, mother, sister, daughter, neighbor, lover. He's a king, father, brother, son of every stranger. We sing, sounds better when we get together. One thing we've got to learn to do: take care of each other. It's the one thing that matters. Got to break through the fever. Wake up from the nightmare. One of us in chains, none of us are free. All of us in flame, no one can see. One of us in pain is one too many. It's all or nothing. One child is rich, 99 are poor. Some legal hitch we didn't vote for. All systems grow into another. Time to try another. Take care of each other. Take care of each other. Take care of each other. Got to see each other in the mirror. Take care of each other. It's the one thing that matters. Got to break through the fever. Wake up from the nightmare. Take the lead, take the front seat. Taking charge, can you take the heat? We take what's ours, we take the cake. We've taken the wrong way. Take a holiday, take the high road. Take a well-earned break from your heavy load. Take your time, take your place. Now give it all away. Take care. She's a queen. He's a king. We sing one thing: take care of each other. Take care of each other. Take care of each other. Try to see our future getting clearer. Take care of each other. We can do much better. Every soul has a hunger to be loving another. Take care of each other. Take care of each other. Take care of each other. Got to see our future getting clearer. Take care of each other. It's the one thing that matters. Got to break through the fever. Got to see everybody in the mirror.
Thank you to Communism, Luna Lee, and Vilberavavi. Next up, we have Gabrielle Fayant and Lia Pappas-Kemps. Gabrielle Fayant originates from Fishing Lake Métis Settlement, Alberta. Gabrielle is an award-winning woman for her work in her community, her dedication to supporting young people, and amplifying grassroots efforts. Gabrielle is passionate about cultural resurgence, revitalization, and restitution for all Indigenous peoples. She's worked with several Indigenous and nonprofit organizations. Lia Pappas-Kemps is a former actor turned singer-songwriter based in Toronto. Lia played Jane Andrews in the CBC series Anne with an E. She recently signed her first record deal and is inspired by strong female pop artists like Taylor Swift and Phoebe Bridgers. Trained as a jazz pianist and vocalist, the influences of early jazz can be heard in her instrumentals and in her vocal choices. Right now, it's Gabrielle Fayant.
Ani bojo tancha kiwao mishan dengwe anquat quendish nakas pakjahansen donjaba umamawene nishnabe king and donji makwando dam Hi everyone, my name is Gabrielle Fayont. I am originally from Alberta. My family comes from one of the 8 land-based Métis settlements called Fishing Lake. I'm currently a guest on Algonquin territory in Ottawa, Ontario. And I am one of the co-founders and helpers with Assembly of 7 Generation, also known as A7G. A7G is an Indigenous youth-led, youth-driven nonprofit organization. With A7G, we do a lot of land-based learning, as well as provide programs and opportunities for Indigenous youth within Ottawa, as well as provincially and nationally from time to time. I'm super excited to see Climate Live Canada's special event. I'm constantly inspired by all of the climate justice warriors out there, because as a Métis woman, I know how much the land, the water, the animals, and the plants, and the future generations rely on us to fight for justice and freedom today. It's very important that climate justice becomes an intersectional and inclusive movement. Indigenous peoples have been fighting for climate justice for generations and generations. A few philosophies that many of us live by is to only take what we need and to use the whole animal after a hunt, and to always give back, especially when we are taking. These Indigenous philosophies speak to waste reduction and sustainability way before these terms were ever coined. Another really important thing to think about is the word activist. So many folks will refer to Indigenous land defenders or water protectors as activists, but standing up for the water and the land and the animals and the plants and our future generations, that's just a part of who we are and our livelihood. When we live with the land and see the land as a part of us, when we see the land as our relative, we're less likely to exploit and steal from the land. And this is really what many Indigenous land defenders and water defenders are trying to say to Canada and the rest of the world. Land back speaks to restoring ecosystems that have been disrupted by colonization and stopping the further destruction of land. So a few movements you can refer to are Tiny House Warriors, Wet'suwet'en, even Braided Warriors are doing a lot of mobilizing and standing up to large corporations that are trying to destroy the land. Another really important one to look to is what's happening with Line 3. And I wanted to give a shout out to the Ginu Collective. And these are just a few Indigenous movements that I want to acknowledge. So please continue to learn from and let Indigenous land and water defenders lead the way. Miigwech Chai Hai. I hope you enjoy the rest of the event.
It's just as lonely in another country as it is lonely outside my bedroom window, and it's just as sad somewhere else as it is sad in Toronto. It's just as sad as being at home.
Thanks, Gabrielle and Leah. Climate Live Canada is an entirely volunteer-run organization of youth organizers with supporters and advisors from the environmental movement and the music industry. Tonight's show is a kickoff to working towards having a series of concerts, big and small, across Canada on October 16th. If you would like to organize a concert in your community, please get in contact with Climate Live Canada to find out how you can and how you can get support. If you'd like to donate to Climate Live Canada so we can continue the work and organize in-person climate concerts across the country in October, please consider donating through chuffed.org. That's chuffed.org. The links are below. Next up, it is Barenaked Ladies. Barenaked Ladies are one of the most well-known and one of the best-loved bands in Canada and have merged art and politics for most of their career. They formed in Scarborough in 1988, have been nominated for 2 Grammy Awards, 18 Juno Awards, and have been inducted into the Canadian Music Hall of Fame. Jim Cregan has been a vocal supporter of the Fridays for Future movement and performed at the 2019 Global Climate Strike in Toronto. We are thrilled to have their support of Climate Live. They'll be followed by Paul Taylor, the Executive Director of Food Share Toronto and a lifetime anti-poverty activist and regular political commentator on CTV who's written numerous op-eds and columns on various social issues. Growing up materially poor in Toronto inspired Paul to commit his life to doing what he can to dismantle the systems and harmful organizing principles that cause and uphold poverty, food insecurity, and wealth inequality, including racism, white supremacy, and neoliberalism. In 2020, Paul was named one of Canada's top 40 under 40, one of Toronto Life's 50 most influential Torontonians, and voted as Best Activist by Now magazine readers. Paul is coming up, but first, give him a round of applause from behind your screen, or a round of applause. It's Barenaked Ladies.
Hey, this is Jim Cregan from Barenaked Ladies, and we're really happy to be involved with Climate Live Canada and Music Declares Emergency. You know, I think everybody's voice counts when it comes to working together and reversing the effects of our impact on climate change. And this is a song about working together. It's recorded in our separate houses, but it was kind of fun to put together. Hope you enjoy it. Way to go, everybody. Let's do this. Keep working at it.
1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4.
Narrow streets, houses all in row, front porch seats, watching people go. Oh oh oh, oh oh oh, oh. And in between, Dundas and Queen, get off at strong, spread the blankets on the lawn. Oh oh oh, oh oh oh, oh oh oh, oh oh oh. I think that we could do better if we weren't apart, and I think that we could find a better place to start. In this downtown neighborhood, held together by nails and wood, where the old folks take their time, I wanna make up time with you. And in the lane, rusty garage doors, there's a hockey game, and that kid's freaking out 'cause he scored. Oh, 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 oh. downtown neighborhood, held together by nails and wood, where the old folks take their time. I wanna make up time with you. I wanna climb the roof window, I wanna walk the lane with you. Ooh, 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 ooh.
That's Meryl Streep's. Take 537.
Thank you for the invitation to join you today. I'm not going to mince any words. The planet is on fire. What we get, denial, delay, and nice speeches. That's what seems to be Canada's approach to this disaster. In fact, our government gave away $18 billion in subsidies to oil and gas companies last year alone. The same government that loudly declared that we were in a climate emergency and then bought a pipeline the next day. Capitalism rages rampant. It's killing us. The police are killing, detaining, and arresting those that look like me, Black people, as well as Indigenous peoples across this land without impunity or consequence. Incidents of anti-Asian racist-fueled violence have increased significantly. What does all of this have in common, you ask? It's all fueled by white supremacy. We will not solve the climate crisis until we acknowledge the insidious nature of white supremacy and use everything that we've got to defeat it. You know, as a kid, other than David Suzuki, I love David Suzuki, it seemed that conversations about the environment and the threat of climate change was the sole purview of white folks. As an adult, I see the large environmental charities and organizations reinforcing those ideas that I had as a kid. Environmentalism is for white people. Our planet is for white people. It wasn't until I met Indigenous land defenders, land and water defenders, that I realized that there were movements that didn't center on whiteness, movements that vigorously defended the earth and its diverse inhabitants. They stand on the front lines of land defense, which positions them, of course, on the front lines of state-sanctioned violence and brutality as they resist capitalist forces that seek to destroy pretty much everything, all in pursuit of profit, massive CEO stock options, and huge shareholder dividends. No, thank you. We cannot let them win. This movement must be our movement, all of ours. We have to decenter whiteness and instead prioritize Indigenous leadership and the leadership of all of those that face the most immediate harm and danger as a result of the climate crisis. It's just too important. Right now is too important. We have a lot of work to do, and we need all of us working together to make sure that our political leaders don't f*** it up. All of our voices need to be heard. We can't let the deniers derail action. We can't let capitalism continue to exploit us, and we certainly can't let white supremacy continue to divide us. I really hope that you've received my words in a good way with an open heart and an open mind. Thank you.
Thank you so much to Paul Taylor, and before that, Barenaked Ladies. Coming up next, it is Moscow Apartment, a Toronto-based duo who create lush, harmony, and folk-imbued indie rock that's interwoven with the timeless and perceptive writing of singer-songwriters Bridget Fry and Pascal Padilla. The award-winning teenage duo released their sophomore EP in July 2020 called Better Daughter, and it was named by Exclaim magazine as one of the best EPs of the year. Bridget from Moscow Apartment has also been an integral part of Climate Live Canada, not only as one of the co-founders, but as working as one of our coordinators as well. She's been a climate activist since she was a toddler, attending the UN Climate Summit with her mom in 2005. Then you'll get a performance from Dan Mangan. He's a two-time Juno Award-winning and two-time Polaris Music Prize-listed musician and songwriter. He lives in Vancouver, British Columbia with his wife and his two sons. He's released 5 studio albums, has composed scores for film and television, and has toured the world. In 2017, he co-founded Side Door, a community marketplace platform matching performers with spaces to create shows anywhere, including interactive ticketed online shows. So, here we go. It is Moscow Apartment.
I collide I thought I was a bother. This house keeps growing, we're going, and all falling down. Before I know it, we're going. So give me a ride into town. I could be a better daughter. You could be a better son. I'll head straight for the water, but you'll help me when I can't run. Now your mother's at the door, and the kids are all out dancing. When I wash up on the shore, you'll be the only one left standing. This house keeps growing, we're going, and all falling down. Before I know it, we're going. So give me a ride into town. I could be a better daughter. You could be a better son. I'll head straight for the water, but you'll help me when I can't run. You'll help me when I can't run. You'll help me when I can't run. I could be a better daughter. You could be a better son. I'll straight for the water, but you'll help me when I can't run. And I thought I was a bother.
Well, we're Moscow Apartment. That song was called Meredith Palmer, and it's the closest to a climate song we currently have. It's kind of about a dream I had that had a bunch of really beautiful nature in it and people messing that nature up.
Robots.
Robots in the dream. In real life, it's not robots.
But we could all be better children.
We could all
of
be
the
better
earth.
sons and daughters and children to the earth. And yeah, we're really happy to be playing as part of Climate Live.
You've put a lot of work into it.
Yeah, it's been really fun organizing this, and I'm really happy to see all these artists coming out to do this thing that so many people, so many youth have been putting work into.
This next song is called Awful People, and I guess it could be directed at the awful people that are being awful. Okay. Wait, do it faster.
You've been eating colors painted on the TV. You've been counting backwards. All your men are greedy. Did it raise your spirits? Getting off on CDs. Did you keep your secrets? Share them all with me. 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 Awful people, you awful people.
Awesome. Thank you.
Folks, Dan Mangan here. Big thanks to all the spearheading amazing people behind Climate Live and Music Declares Emergency. We should all be declaring emergency. It is the existential emergency. And there's a song called Soapbox. Damn the guessers, damn the lie, damn all the pretenders, damn all the reasons why they peddle the impending, why they can't be given light. All of mirrors keeps on reflecting, and the illusion multiplies. Meanwhile they focus on division, the meanest trick the devil pulled. The sheep believe the road to freedom was provided by the wolf. So the pendulum keeps swinging, but the arc, it takes a while, just long enough for some forgetting, to bring the bad stuff back in style. And they always talk of Jesus without a hint of irony, but they see kindness as a weakness, and they disregard the meek. So buy your groceries at the box store, keep your head down in the line. They want you hungry so you'll want more, they want you lonely so you're quiet. So go on and batten down the hatches, turn to whoever it is that you turn. The lunatics have found the matches, they want to see it burn. See, I've been yelling about forgiveness, being all turn the other cheek. But I see now there is a sickness, something rotten in the seeds. So can a society have cancer? If so, who will lead this dance? If we could have just one good answer, maybe then we'd have a chance. Maybe then we'd have a chance. I'm still waking up in Denver, still waking up in Inverness. I'm reminded to remember there is still beauty in the mess. There are those who've taken strangers, suppose the kindness sets them free. There are those who leave a light on in case another needs to see. Thanks, folks. All my best. Write your politicians. Do the things we all need to. Much love.
Thanks, Dan Mangan, and thank you, Moscow Apartment. We'd also like to take a moment to thank all of the organizers, volunteers, advisors, and supporters who've helped make Climate Live possible. If you would like to get involved, please get in touch with Climate Live Canada. We also have an action toolkit to help you all who are viewing right now engage more in concrete action to help address the climate emergency. You can find that in the links below. Next up, the Lifers and the Weather Station. The Lifers, led by sisters Liv and Anita Cazzola, is an art folk rock collective from Guelph, Ontario. They explore notions of home, family, and community, highlighting the beauty, vulnerability, and power of nature, challenging both genre and audience. Liv Cazzola is one of the members of the Music Declares Emergency Canada Working Group and leads the environmental work at Folk Music Ontario. The Weather Station is a project fronted by Tamara Lindemann. Emerging out of Toronto's vibrant folk scene, Lindemann debuted a moody, introspective sound with her independently released East EP in 2008. Now, in 2021, Lindemann leads us into a brilliant and bold new sonic landscape with her latest album, Ignorance. Lindemann is also well known for her passionate advocacy about the climate emergency. You will see the Weather Station in just a few moments, but first, here is the Lifers.
Hi everybody, we're the Lifers. Thank you so much for having us for this Climate Live Earth Day event. And while we're so happy to be a part of it, and it's a joyous occasion to be able to play with the band for the first time in over a year, it also feels like I wish that we didn't have to do this together.
But we're here and we're in solidarity with everything that's happening, and this song Tip is right there with our intentions. So I hope you enjoy.
nature in each resource, imported in each pipeline, extorted in each empty room, lit up in each shirt from a sweatshop in each outlet, on order in each lone car driver in each lake. I can't swim in each duck for decision, and we're seeing the best of it. Only see the tip of it. Oh, we can't see the rest of it. Only see the tip of it. It's not if, it's when, 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 it's not if. Oh, the winter sleeps, and oh, the winter weather weeps, all through this long night, under duvets white, singing lullabies. Oh, the tulips taste. Oh, the tulips part in May. The sugar of springtime, the delicate days of life, throwing me a line. Let it grow. Nature of things, the nature it sings. Oh, let it grow. And oh, the crickets creak. Oh, the crickets scream conceit. All through this long night, echoing rays of light like a time machine. Oh, the leaves ablaze. Some are flaming, some decay. Crackling fire dry, cackles you'll soon be mine. I pray for rain. Oh, let it fall. The nature of things, nature it stings. Oh, let it
It was getting late. You were afraid of yourself. afraid that you might call her, that you could not help yourself. And what could I say? Lived in you all day. I watched her in your eyes and pass across your face like the wind in the water. I'll try to tell you that is the way that you want her. I try to tell you. You were so afraid to try and pull apart the endless rain you thought of as your heart, with blood on your hands from the river inside. You tried to deny. You never felt the tide of the moon pulling closer. I tried to tell you that is the way that you want her. I tried to tell you, like the wind and the water, I will not help you not to feel, to tell yourself it wasn't real. And only fools believe these things. This is what the songs are for. This is the dirt beneath the floor. I cannot tell you only that some days there might be nothing you encounter to stand behind the fragile idea that anything matters. I'll feel as useless as a tree in a city park, standing as a symbol of what we have blown apart. You know you break what you treasure. I tried to tell you, but I'm not sure you remember. So I tried to tell you. I know it cannot be measured. I tried to tell you, would it kill you to believe in your pleasure? I tried to tell you. How is it that I should look at the stars? Drove out in the desert in a rental car, and I climb up on the roof and lie and wait for my eyes to adjust for some peaceful state. When I was a child, my mother'd send me outside on a moonless night to see the light cast out in some ancient stone, with a woolen blanket to keep me warm so overwhelmed by the beauty of the sky. How could I not be? But how should I look at the stars tonight? At a million suns, not of the mind. Nowhere up there is a place like theirs. Not one waterfall, no river mist. I felt dizzy, my chest clenched, cold and tight. It'll be 2020 tomorrow night. From Saltown City, I hear fireworks go off, as though they're celebrating all another year has cost. Or is it carelessness? Send another star into the sky, only to watch it die, fall across the black in a shining arc. I swear to God this world will break my heart.
Wherever you are right now, give it up for the weather station and the lifers. Next up, Sarah Hanson, and then Whitehorse. Sarah Hanson is the North America Regional Director of Youth for Nature. She's an Indigenous youth from Bittigang Nishnawbe in northwestern Ontario who believes Indigenous and non-Indigenous youth working together will create a just and sustainable future for all. Sarah holds the ancestral knowledge of her people from years growing up in her community and a degree in biology from Queen's University. She is actively looking for new and exciting ways to engage with others about climate change, recently participating in the Climate Reality Project's online training and Earth Guardian's Indigenous Youth Leadership Initiative. After Sarah, it's a performance from Whitehorse. Since their debut, Whitehorse has traveled from magnetic folk duo to full-blown rock band and beyond. In truth, Whitehorse is never fully one or the other, but an ever-evolving creative partnership that challenges both artists, Melissa McClellan and Luke Doucette, to explore new instrumental and lyrical terrain with each record. Steamy, swampy, and squalling in equal measure, Whitehorse's signature sound is guitar-heavy, harmony-abundant, and lyrically deft. You'll hear exactly what that sounds like in just a minute, but first, Sarah Hanson.
Hello, bonjour, bonjour. My name is Sarah Hanson, and I am an Anishinaabe youth from Bittigang Nishnawbe. For the past 8 months, I've had the pleasure of being Youth for Nature's North American Regional Director. In this role, I came with a clear direction of where I wanted to lead the North American region by focusing on engagement with Indigenous peoples, especially youth. Being a youth-led international organization that educates, empowers, and mobilizes young people to lead on and advocate for solutions to the ecological and climate crises, ensuring Indigenous youth were engaged in our work was a no-brainer, as our ancestors have been stewarding these lands since time immemorial. The solutions we want youth to lead on and advocate for are ambitious, backed by knowledge, and grounded in justice. Our vision is simple. We want a future where communities thrive with nature across generations. Since the organization was founded in 2019, we have built a robust and ever-growing network of active youth leaders across the world. To meet this future, we focus our work into 3 pillars: knowledge sharing, capacity building, and storytelling. For knowledge sharing, with the pandemic, most of these activities have looked like blogs, webinars, or takeovers on social media. For capacity building, we work together as a team and with our partners to speak on panels, webinars, and engage in discussions. Lastly, our most distinct pillar, storytelling. Storytelling has been a main focus of our work at Youth for Nature up to now. Shortly after joining the organization, our second campaign was launched called Your Story, Our Future. For more information on this work, you can check out our website, www.youthfornature.org. Now, as I said in the beginning, as North American Regional Director, I've dedicated my time in this position towards Indigenous engagement. Over the last 8 months, I spent the majority of my time connecting with Indigenous people and groups across Canada, while also taking the time to educate myself on my relatives I have yet to meet. While my indigeneity grounds my work in climate activism, my knowledge isn't the most extensive, and that is okay. As I learn from and about my friends and colleagues across the world each day, I see the shared love of nature and Mother Earth that I saw growing up. My favorite quote to bring up in any occasion is the fact that while Indigenous people only make up 5% of the global population, we protect 80% of the world's biodiversity. Our relationship with the land and water is reciprocal, and to us, these are living, breathing entities that deserve to be taken care of. Growing up, I was fortunate enough to know the lands of my ancestors and learn from elders and knowledge keepers about all it has done to protect us and provide for us, continues to provide for us and protect us, and how we can ensure it will provide and protect for future generations. As I move from home and into Ottawa and Kingston and other places, I've become disconnected from the land, affecting every other part of me. Nature and Mother Earth have always found her way back to me though, and in any situation I found myself in, she's been there. In El Salvador in 2015, when I could barely make it through a hike, it was the land that protected me from the heat. In Guyana in 2019, when I was so overwhelmed at being almost 5,000 kilometers away from home for just over 4 months, it was the land and water that calmed me. Over the last year during the pandemic, learning from and about the land has been only constant throughout all the lockdowns. From the lands I live on in what's currently known as Ottawa, but is traditionally in unsurrendered lands of the Algonquin Nation, to that of my own traditional lands of Biktagan Nishnabeg in northwestern Ontario, to that of Turtle Island altogether, and then onto those lands of my friends and colleagues across the globe. The lessons I've learned directly or indirectly have given me a new appreciation for Mother Earth. Learning this all has also empowered me to continue taking action in my own way to ensure communities globally have enough nature for people to thrive for generations to come.
Hey everybody, we are Whitehorse. We are at home during these lockdown measures, but despite that, we are very happy to be a part of this event, this Climate Live event that I believe is happening in many countries all over the world, which feels very good and inspiring to know that there are people performing and watching and making their voices be heard for what is the most essential global issue of our time.
We're going to play a song called I Want to Make Promises That I Can't Keep, and although it's inspired by matters of the heart, the title could easily be applied to climate change, denial, and avoidance. And so we'd like to dedicate it to all the politicians and oil executives and grifters who make a point of ignoring this issue because their paychecks are contingent upon it. This is for y'all.
laughs at your old jokes in the eastern townships with your own man on the porch steps, knowing that we slowly die with each and every breath. I wanna make promises that I can't keep. I wanna make promises that I can't keep. I wanna make promises that I can't keep. I wanna make promises that I can't keep.
Thank you to Whitehorse, and thank you also to Sarah Hanson. Our final performers tonight are Leah and Peter from July Talk and Scott Helman. July Talk stormed the airwaves with the radio-ready rock of their debut and the volatile siren songs of Touch with its saw-toothed pop and convulsing tension. For album number 3, the band cracks their equilibrium open to find a thrilling new balance in asymmetry. With their signature snarl, July Talk is back to reaffirm the cathartic power of self-determination in sound and in spirit. Tonight, it's a pared-down performance with just Leah and Peter. They'll be followed by Scott Helman. Born and raised in Toronto, Scott Helman's a pop singer and songwriter who broke into the music industry while he was still in his mid-teens. The young musician received his first guitar as a gift at age 10, which led to a decision just a few years later to pursue a career in music, and he certainly did. He broke out in 2014 with his Canadian top 40 hit Bungalow, and he's been nominated for several Junos and recently participated in CBC's Canada Reads. Scott's on the way, but first, Peter and Leah.
Hi,
Hi, I'm Peter.
I'm Leah. We're 2/5 of the Toronto band July Talk.
And we're going to play a Neil Young song for you. We're very grateful to be here for Climate Live.
Thanks for having us.
Side of the road with the lorries rolling by, blue moon sinking from the weight of the load, and the buildings scrape the sky. Cold wind ripping down the alley at dawn, and the morning paper flies. Dead man lying by the side of the road with the daylight in his eyes. Don't let it get you down. It's only castles burning. Find someone who's turning, and you will come around.
Blind man running through the light of the night with an answer in his hand. Come on down to the riverside and you really understand. Red lights flashing through the window in the rain. You can hear that siren moan. White cane lying in the gutter in the lane. If you're walking home alone, don't let it bring you down. It's only castles burning. Find someone who's turning, and you will come around.
Don't let it bring you down. It's only castles burning. Find someone who's turning.
Don't let it bring you down. It's only castles burning. Find someone who's turning. You will come around. Don't let it bring you down. It's only castles turning, and you will come around. Lots of love.
Thanks for having us.
Hey, I'm Scott Helman, and thanks for having me here at Climate Live. The song is called Wait No More. I glued my happiness to another outcome I can't predict. Keep on thinking life would be perfect if I had that something I still can't get. And I don't know where I am tonight. Keep thinking about where I want to go, and I wish that I could stop sometimes and watch the lights over the freeway. Don't know what I'm running from, waiting for a time that never comes, when it's never gonna be enough. I said I'm done, I don't wanna wait no more. That's not what these days are for. I don't wanna wake up one day and realize I missed out on right now, no, I'm not gonna wait. Wait no more. Ooh. One day I'll fly a plane. I'll be looking down on the little things, yeah. Oh, but right now they still seem so big. Isn't this longing the strangest thing? And I don't know where I am tonight. Keep thinking about where I want to go, and I wish that I could stop sometimes and watch the lights over the freeway. Don't know what I'm running from, waiting for a time that never comes, when it's never gonna be enough. I said I'm done, I don't wanna wait no more. That's not what these days are for. I don't wanna wake up one day and realize I missed out on right now, no, I'm not gonna wait. Come on, wait no more. Ooh. Wait no more. Don't know where I am tonight, waiting for a time that never comes, when it's never gonna be enough. I said I'm done. Thank you. Like I said, it's really an honor to be here.
I really just feel so passionate about this cause and about the environment. And I actually, a while back, I was writing some songs with some friends, and we started writing this song. Like, we had this music going, and we started writing this song, and we had a melody, and then I went off and I wrote down some lyrics, and I came back to the room, and I realized, like, a lot of these lyrics I were writing were about the climate crisis, and about how I felt about it. And the thing I really liked about how this song turned out was it's not so much a song about, fear, although that's a part of it. I think more this song for me is about, love. And I know it sounds cheesy, but I really do believe that human connection and collectivity and passion are what is going to be at the forefront of the solution of this problem. And just you by being in the audience is a testament to that. So thanks for watching this live stream. This song is called Evergreen. Cups in the lake and heat from the beam, rising seas and a world on fire. Sunshine, so we draw the blinds. Someone chuckles from the back of a firing line. Too late to go outside. There's money in a pocket, but it sure ain't mine. Some days I'm doing fine, most I'm losing my mind. And I can't take it, this ever-changing, spinning world. But maybe I can make it if we plant seeds in the dirt. I think I need to change the scene. I think I need to change my life. Thank God our love is evergreen. The only thing that never says a word it doesn't mean. Me feel like I'm alive. Thank God our love is evergreen. The only thing that never dies. Oh, 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 oh. There's a flood in the south that a kid so high he can't remember how to ride his bike. Moon shines on a silver dime, but I picked it up, so I guess it's mine. Painted grass and smog in the sky, but can I just kiss that teardrop in your eye? 'Cause some days you're doing fine, but most you're losing your mind. I think I need to change the scene. I think I need to change my life. Thank God our love is evergreen. The only thing that never says a word it doesn't mean. Makes me feel like I'm alive. Thank God our love is evergreen. The only thing that never dies. Oh, 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 oh. And I can't take it, this ever-changing, spinning world. But maybe I can make it if we plant seeds in the dirt. Thank you very much. See you soon. Bye.
Thank you to Scott Helman, and thank you, Leah and Peter of July Talk before that. And thank you for tuning in. A reminder, you can donate to Climate Live Canada to help fund what we hope will be in-person outdoor concerts in October, and to continue doing the important youth-led advocacy work that has helped make climate one of the top issues facing Canadians. Please look for the Action Toolkit and consider getting involved in one of the local planning committees. I'm Raina Duras. Thank you so much for watching. Have a wonderful night.